I think there's a wisdom in your hands that can be passed on. See, my hands are quite square and they used to be strong. They're a maker's hands. Some people have fine hands like threads that are like a bank teller's hands, I call them, which is a bit rude. Mine, they're maker's hands, and my ancestors had them.
Gay Hawkes is a highly regarded Tasmanian artist and furniture maker. She's been creating works for more than 40 years. But she never buys materials, she finds them.
I have to love the materials I'm using. I can't make something with materials that don't speak to me. And I use pallets at the moment. Prior to that, I used driftwood off beaches and islands. Before that, I used what they were going to burn down in the rainforest after they clear felled. But I just make things all the time. It might be anything, a chicken coop or a cupboard or a table or a stool. But if I need something, I make it. Usually things are functional, but they're not always. And I love making people. Well, I don't set about to make an artwork. I set about to make what's in my head.
Recently, Gay's been living and working in this small shed in Tasmania's southeast. She's still recovering from a devastating fire in 2013, which destroyed both her beloved home and studio nearby in the little fishing village of Denali.
The studio was absolutely fabulous. It was built by a Norwegian sailor 100 years ago. It was on the sea. You could play the piano and hear the water going lap, lap on the wall. Once I saw a whale out the window. It housed a lot of work that burnt. Some of my key pieces over the years I was storing there, thinking my children might want them. They all went too, of course, everything.
A major retrospective was something 80-year-old Gay didn't think she'd get to experience. But with work sourced from private collections on the mainland and some made anew, this bittersweet exhibition could go on display at the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery.
The title of your exhibition is The House of Longing. What does that mean to you?
That I would like a house. After the fire, I set about making furniture for a house. I did 31 pieces, most of which are in the exhibition, but I didn't realise that the house prices would go up as they have. It's sort of out of reach.
So there in your exhibition you have furniture for a house that you don't have now?
Yes.
You seem to have a particular fondness for chairs and their form. Why is that?
I don't know, I just think chairs are interesting and they're so varied. You can make a chair out of anything. It's a wonderful thing to make a chair that you can sit in, especially if it's comfortable.
So all these chairs with the big sticks and the whalebones sticking out of them, have you comfort checked them?
No, they're not always comfortable. Sometimes the aesthetics take over. My kids have always said, oh, those things in the hallway, you know, where it gets stabbed by or something. And well, look, somebody once said to me when she'd commissioned a chair, she said, well, it's not that comfortable. I said, well, go to Myers and buy a bloody big squashy ugly thing and you'll be comfortable. But if you want a chair from me, you get something you can look at.
Some of Gay's chairs reach over 3 metres high, one of which was bought by the National Gallery of Australia, who holds 4 of her pieces. In her long career, Gay's exhibited and created work all over the world.
Well, I first started making furniture when I was 39 and I went to art school thinking I wanted to learn printmaking, but I wasn't very good at that, and I was challenged by a lecturer to make something in wood. So I went home to the 20 acres I was living on then with my children and I made furniture. And then I got so excited by the fact that I'd done it that I kept doing it. So I've shown work in New Zealand, Norway, Ireland, Georgia, Armenia. Then I'd be always tempted to go to some place if it was exotic, like I wanted to go to Azerbaijan. I'd think, oh my God, Azerbaijan, I want to go there. I can go anywhere. I learnt early in the piece that I could go anywhere in the world and find things and make things. I just like doing it.
When I visit Gay, she is collecting shells to make flowers. It's an approach she first learned from an elder and friend during a residency on Queensland's Palm Island, and made her own with shells from Tasmanian shores.
Even when I was a child, because we spent a lot of time on the northwest coast, I used to make things with shells. They're so beautiful. They come up like a mystery out of the sea. I'll see one over there and it'll speak to me, you know, and I think, oh, that one. I might go back for it if I don't pick it up, because it's calling.
How important is Tasmania to your work?
It's a terrible thing. It's like you're stuck with it for the term of your natural life. One of my sons said, when you're born in Tasmania, there's a magnet put in your heart.
So why is it important that your work speaks to Tasmania and this landscape, but also the rest of the world?
I want to speak about humanity, like those little figures there, which are made up from my mother's china dolls that burnt in the fire. They're any people, you know, and the feeling and the expression of them is just being a human, which is a really hard thing. Each thing I make now, I think, well, this might be my last cupboard. And I've made 3 since the exhibition opened. And I think, oh, I could do another one. Some of the best work will actually be, to me, while I'm making it, really terrible. And I think I'm never going to show this to anyone, ever. And then I finish it and I think, oh my God, it's fantastic. And it's like it made itself. But I always look at a work when I've finished and think, now what made that from a pile of sticks or a bit of cardboard? My energy made it. That's how it came about. And it's a sort of a special thing. It's a magic thing.